Welcome, everybody. Dan Brown here with Blumberg Digital, and I am going to do exactly as Amy just said. I'm going to ask everybody to activate your camera. We're looking at you. We want your engagement. We want your feedback. Today, we've got some amazing individuals who are going to bring a fantastic amount of knowledge and experience to you. Raise your hand, or if you don't have a camera, say me, if you would like to be ranking at the top of organic Google searches. Raise your hand if you'd like to be ranking at the top. Good. Yeah. Okay. Look at that chat. Many of you are on board with us on our programs at Blumberg Digital, and you know as well as we do that that process isn't an overnight process. But you might have the question, well, how long does it take? And what are some of the key factors I need to be focused on? And what are some things that I can do? And what should I expect? How long? And if you are not a client of Blumberg Digital, but you want your site checked into and you don't mind us doing it live, we won't be too harsh on you. Go ahead and drop that in the chat right now. If you're a client of Blumberg Digital, well, you can absolutely reach out to your account manager, and you get an active report of that every month. And we have a little bit of a program. We show you what we're doing, where we're going. But if you're not a client and you want your website looked at, 100%. If you're not with us on our marketing platform, or you're not a premium SEO client, we'll definitely take a look at that and go through that. And we'll do it live. We'll do it live. Better to know than not know. I got some exciting stuff for you. One of the main things that I'm going to be taking up is, first of all, we've got a guest speaker that is one of our own. That's Mr. Michael Bach. He's going to be taking you through, I think, a very, very cool section. And many of you know that the way Blumberg Digital works is through strategic partnerships. While it's great to find a company that does everything, seldom is that the case in dental marketing. Seldom is that the case in anything, truly. If you think about anything you do in life, you're getting into golfing, or you're getting into cycling, or you're getting into whatever you're getting into, you can always go in and kind of get the basic entry-level stuff. But the second you start moving up the ladder, if you're a golfer, you want your own putter, and you want that driver, and you want this special thing for your golf bag, and those all-in-one kits don't necessarily scratch the itch like they could or should. Blumberg Digital is the premier dental marketing company that's designed to make certain that you are getting the absolute best of what exists in every avenue of dental marketing. So we have a Google Ads team. This is a strategic partnership that we have with, a team that just goes out there, and they are the best of the best when it comes to doing paid online ads. And we have a strategic team for SEO. We have a strategic team for digital reactivation. We have a strategic team for our marketing platform. These strategic alliances are partnerships. How does that benefit you? Well, you get the best of the best. Many dental marketing companies do it like this. They're good at websites, and then their clients want them to do everything for them. So they try to figure out SEO. They try to figure out paid ads, and they do that in a haphazard fashion. Who suffers? You suffer. They charge for it, probably don't charge a lot for it. Hopefully they don't charge a lot for it, but they're not the best of the best at that. They were really good at websites, or they're really good at ads, and then their clients say, hey, we want a website too. Okay. They try to figure out websites. So what we did is we said, we're going to actually have the best of the best in each of these categories. Our strategic partner that we work with on SEO is a company called Louder Online. And, we've been working with the CEO of this company since the beginning, because our CEO, Jeremy Blumberg, worked with this CEO on Jeremy's last endeavor. And when Jeremy sold that company and, became extremely rich and wealthy and doesn't need to be doing anything anymore, but still does, when he did that, that was through this channel of SEO and search engine optimization. And we're fortunate today to have this individual joining us. And it's a little bit before he's going to do his talk. But Aaron, if you wouldn't mind unmuting, folks, I'd like to just introduce Aaron Agius, and he is the CEO of Louder Online. Aaron, say hello to everybody.
Hello, good to meet you all.
Fantastic. And Aaron, just a couple seconds about your experience and how long have you been doing this and been involved in this game, if you wouldn't mind?
We founded the agency in 2007, 2008, and it was purely off the back of doing SEO for clients. And we typically started with the smaller clients, as most agencies do, and rapidly grew to dealing with the likes of Ford, Intel, IBM, Salesforce. So some pretty massive companies there. So yeah, we've got some good experience behind us, a good team, and we know what we're doing. We're happy to be doing it for using that experience on those larger enterprise clients and being able to work on the dentist side. So it works well.
Thank you. And just so you all know, Aaron has been doing this and leading the team that's been doing this for our premium SEO clients for years now with Blumberg Digital. And that's actually how we started, was as an SEO company, pretty strictly and only. That was our only service. I asked this in the very beginning of this webinar, how many of you want to be ranking at the top of Google? And everybody said, of course I do. And I'm going to ask you all right now, let's just take you as a consumer. You as a consumer, when you go searching for something, some people ignore ads. If you have your camera on, raise your hand. If you're an ad ignorer, if you're an ad ignorer, type me in the chat. You kind of ignore ads. You don't click on ads. Raise your hand. Yeah, a lot of people. And there's some people that, yeah, occasionally I'll click an ad. Occasionally I will. But most of us like to go look for what's called organic response. And that has been the case and is becoming more the case and more so the case and such. So we're going to talk about, and Aaron's going to take up the things you just have to know if you want to be up at the top. So I want you all to stay tuned for that. Aaron is going to come in as kind of like number 3 in line. I kind of jumped the show a little bit here and just wanted to introduce him, but he's here. He is kind of the top of the heap when it comes to SEO providers. And he just gave you a short list of the companies. The long list of companies that his company has serviced, it's very impressive. So looking forward to that. What I'm going to do is, first off, and we like to do this, we like to do shout outs to all the companies that are clients of ours and their success. And boy, do we have some successes. I'm going to be sharing my screen on that one. I'm going to show you what we got. A lot of you have done amazing work, and we sometimes don't hear enough about the amazing things we do and who we are. So figured I just do a couple shout outs to those that are doing a great job. Okay, so team, Dr. Mina Avalos, Dr. Calvo, Sunbright Dental, highest ever on both organic visits to the website and total calls to the website with 298 calls. Well done, team. Nice job. Dr. Owens, now they have a number of practices. Owens Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, highest ever organic calls from the website, and Google Business Profile at over 500 since we've connected the Google Business Profile to the Go Marketing Platform. We've seen a huge increase from 80 calls to more than 400. Well done, guys. You guys are killing it. Dr. Degderieva, always beautiful smile. That's her practice. Highest ever organic traffic and highest ever calls with 222 calls in January from the Gold Marketing Platform. These are individuals that are doing our Gold Marketing Platform and or additional premium SEO, and the results we're seeing. Great job, team. Dr. Coipele, Montpelier Dentistry, highest ever calls from the website 3 months in a row. In January, it had the highest ever total visits to the website. They also had the highest ever total visits from organic. They are on our Gold Marketing Platform. Dr. Jamali, Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery of New York, highest ever calls with 279 calls into the website in January, and highest ever organic traffic with number of 1,398. They're on our Gold Marketing Platform. Dr. Lori Bagay, Smart Smile Dental. Well done, team here. Highest ever production in January. They additionally had highest ever website visits for December and January, and they're on our Gold Marketing Platform. Dr. Alex Matheson, team at the Bellissimo Dentistry. January was our highest ever with 119 new patients. They also had highest ever organic traffic to their website. They use Gold Marketing Platform and premium SEO digital services from Blumberg Digital. Dr. Woolery, and that's Contemporary Dentistry, highest ever collections at $187,000 for the month for January using Blumberg Digital Google Ads. Dr. Valde, this is Newbury Park Smiles, reached highest ever organic traffic to her website using Gold Marketing Platform. Dr. Bailey and Dr. Finley, Bailey Dental Group, that's highest ever calls into their website using Gold Marketing Platform. In September 2024, they had 34. In January 2025, they had 226. Dr. Jacobs, Riverside Dental for Aesthetic Dentistry, highest ever organic traffic to their website using Gold Marketing Platform. They see how filming videos using the Gold Marketing Platform scripts are making significant impacts. They have an incredible change with their keywords and huge jumps on keywords, cosmetic dentistry subcategories for that, and jumping from page 10 to page 1. So everybody give those guys a hand. Well done, teams. Good job. We have about 60 of these, and a number of them are from our SEO clients that are on our SEO premium service. So we'll save some of that for the later parts of this webinar, but great job, everybody. How many of you are on social media? Let's say starting with Facebook. Your business has a Facebook profile. Raise your hands. Good. All right. How many of you have an Instagram profile for your practice? Raise your hands. Now you know why I want cameras, everybody. Good. Now, how many of you are doing Google ads or Facebook ads, or Instagram ads, TikTok ads? Raise your hands. Good. I love to see these hands. I love to see these hands. Good. How many of you are doing direct mail, postcards, newsletters, anything and such? Good. Love to see that. Good. How many of you are actively posting on Facebook, Instagram, and or TikTok? Good. Julia, your hand's getting tired. You're like, geez, why don't I just leave it up? Just tie a string. Good. Julia Delgado, marketing director for Delgado Dental Group. It's actually 2 practices, right, Julia? 2 practices? You're doing 2 practices?
Yeah, it's 2 practices and then a dental lab too.
Look at you. So absolutely killing it. She got a couple tips and she just went hog wild. She's all over social media now. Love it. Okay, good. These are multiple channels, and there's a bunch of channels. There's, billboards, there's movie ads, where you see the ads at the beginning. There's get your ad on a shopping cart. There's all sorts of stuff. Those are channels, marketing channels. What Michael's going to be taking up is how important it is to be everywhere. But I want to ask you all this. Aaron from Louder, he's going to be presenting. Like I said, he's going to be presenting, but he's doing some massive investigation down AI and ChatGPT. How many of you are using ChatGPT or AI? Raise your hands. Okay. I see some of you are rolling your eyes. Oh, I hear about AI. Yuck. Ew. I don't understand it. Okay. Totally understood. We're going to be bringing a solution via us. Aaron is going to be bringing a solution that's going to blow your mind. You see what he's been working on for the last months. But just to let you know, you're with a group here that understands there is a need to go into different channels. And I'm going to be talking to you about some things I think you need to know. And what is dentistry tomorrow? So what is the future of dental marketing? Google's slowly losing its dominance in search. And doesn't mean that there's a problem or an issue right now, but I'm going to tell you right now, for the last 20 years, it's been the go-to source for people looking for information, including those searching for a dentist now. But today, things are shifting. The way patients find and choose a dental practice is changing dramatically. And if you don't adapt, you'll get left behind. So I'm going to break down kind of why Google is losing ground, what this shift means for your practice, how you can stay ahead by strategically leveraging the right dental channels. And to fully understand where things are going, let's take a quick look at how we got here at all. It's a brief history in search engines. Before the 2000s, search engines like, Ask Jeeves and LookSmart and Yahoo were the main players. And the problem there was that none of them were particularly great. Raise your hand if you remember any of those. You're old like me and you remember those. Some of you are like, what? What did you just say? Ask Jeeves? I remember when there wasn't even an interweb, right? So, okay. If you were searching some of those, you often had to use multiple platforms at that time to get a decent answer. Then in 1998, a couple college students in Menlo Park, California developed something that changed everything. It's called Google. What was their mission? To organize the world's information and make it universally acceptable. And they did that. Unlike the cluttered, ad-filled search engines of that time, Google offered a clean and simple experience. You typed in a question, you clicked to search, you got relevant, high-quality results all in one place. Perfect. The efficiency and accuracy made Google an undisputed leader in search for over 2 decades. But today, Google isn't the only game in town. So let's talk about a little decline, and the numbers tell the story. So folks, get in your mind right now. How many searches do you think are happening across all platforms every day? Across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Google, Chat, GPT, AI. Just get a number in your mind. Well, I'm going to give you what that number is. 45 billion searches every day online. 45 billion searches happening every day online. Yet only 8 billion of those searches happen on Google. That's just 18% of the market share. It's a dramatic decline from its previous dominance. Meanwhile, other platforms have exploded. Instagram, 6.5 billion searches per day. ChatGPT, 1 billion searches per day. Pinterest, 2 billion searches per day. Amazon, we all raise your hand if you're an Amazon user or say me in the chat. We all are. Oh gosh. All right. Amazon, 3.5 billion searches per day. And these are potential buyers. So more and more people are turning to social media, AI-driven platforms, and niche search engines to get their answers. Instead of Googling for a dentist, people are, they're searching Instagram for before and after images. They're watching TikTok videos about Invisalign. They're asking ChatGPT for recommendations on the best dentist near them. There are exact reasons why Google's losing ground, and here are 3 of them. First, patient search behavior is totally changed. People search differently now. They want quick, visual, and interactive answers. You also have voice search, rapidly increasing with younger generations using Alexa and Siri before they even learn to type. AI-powered responses are giving users instant answers without the need to scroll through endless Google results. Another reason, number 2, is Google struggled to keep up. Instagram and TikTok provide immediate visual search results. ChatGPT and AI delivers direct, detailed answers instead of focusing users to sift through 10 blue links. Amazon's algorithm instantly recommends the best products based off buyer behavior. And then the third reason, people are kind of tired of Google ads. Raise your hand if you're tired of Google ads. Raise your hand if you're tired of Google ads. Yep, a lot of people are. Google's revenue model is built on ads. So paid ads results often push down organic content. Users prefer authentic recommendations from social media and AI platforms. This shift in trust is why Instagram, TikTok, and ChatGPT are growing. While Google is losing ground, these others are growing. Now, what does this mean for your dental practice? If your marketing strategy still only focuses on ranking on Google, you are already falling behind. Your future patients aren't just searching in one place anymore. They are searching everywhere. Now, listen to me when I say this. SEO better be your top concern. Being there at the top for Google search is currently where you need to focus if you're not there. It's going to continue to be that for now and a period of time forward, but you cannot just stick on that one. Your patients are searching everywhere. And if your practice isn't visible across multiple platforms, those potential patients are finding someone else instead. Now, how is Blumberg Digital going to help you stay ahead? Well, at Blumberg Digital, we don't just focus on Google SEO. Yes, that is at our top and it should be at yours. But that alone is not going to cut it anymore. It's big, and we're going to cover how big other channels are. But we don't just rely on a single channel at Blumberg Digital, and we've been saying this over and over and over. I do understand some of you have limited bandwidth. You don't have time to learn about these other things, and do social media, and we get it. We're not telling you we're going to do it for you. We're going to guide you on exactly how to be visible and relevant across the most impactful platforms. We're going to help you establish a strong online presence everywhere patients are searching. And that would be Google, of course, at the top. ChatGPT, we're going there. You got to go there. We're going there. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and more. We're going to provide you exact strategies so your practice is seen in all the right places. And we're going to show you how to position your brand to dominate online. Patients don't just pick the first practice they see. They choose a brand they trust. We help you get mentioned across platforms so your name stays top of mind. And we're going to teach you how to create engaging content that attracts new patients. This is why we want you coming back to this webinar. That's why we want you tuned in with our account managers. That's why we want you talking to us, because we're going to show you what tomorrow is going to be and many tomorrows and how that's changing based off of what we're seeing today. I want you to think about the things I keep saying, and I will keep saying. Before and after images. How many of you are collecting them? Raise your hands or put, photos in the chat. How many of you are collecting before and after photos and videos? Yep. Very important. How many of you are doing educational posts about your practice and key features? Raise your hands. Exactly. These things Get your practice noticed and recommended by AI and social platforms. The more engagement you generate, the more visibility you get. And what Aaron is about to tell you all about how important that is today and where your focus needs to be, well, he's going to distill a bunch of confusions that might have been there. We're going to help you maximize patient reviews and social proof. Raise your hand if you have patients coming in saying, yeah, your reviews are why I am here or partly why I'm here. Raise your hands. You got patients saying that. I read your reviews. Yep. Patient trust is a big deal, and they trust real reviews more than they trust paid ads, obviously. Our methods help you build a strong reputation that brings in more new patients. SEO is far from, Janelle just put in a before photo. Love it. Let's see the after photo, Janelle. Let's bring it up. Got to see that. There's the before photo. I love that. That's called interaction in a webinar. So I want to make it clear to everybody here, SEO isn't dead. It's still on top, but it's also evolving. Traditional SEO alone will not keep your schedule full anymore. And I tell you now, if you're paying an SEO provider $400, $600, $800 a month, you are wasting that money every single month. Aaron can talk on that too. We've seen it. We've reviewed these providers that are we're doing your SEO for $400, $600, $800, even $1,200 a month. We see what they're doing, and it is not good. It is not enough. We're not just trying to say, oh, we do a better job. No, we'll show you exactly what so many other people are doing out there, and they're telling you they got your back and that they're the best and this sort of thing. No, we'll show you exactly what they're doing. Some of them very well know that what they're doing is not good enough or is potentially harmful to your profile. Okay, that's a smaller percentage. A lot of them just don't even know what they're talking about. I said it this morning to another person. Marketing is not like dentistry. In dentistry, you have to go to school. You have to be formally educated. Then you go through exams, and then you have to be licensed, and then you get certified, and then you have to be continually educated. Beautiful. That's a discipline that does not exist at all in marketing. All you have to do in marketing is just say, hey, I'm a marketer. There is no legitimate authorization verification process. So that then falls on your shoulders. I'm going to tell you right now that success in digital marketing requires a multi-platform strategy. And that doesn't mean you have to be an expert at everything, but it does mean you need the right strategy and the right direction. And that's what we do at Blumberg Digital. We help dentists cut through the noise and get found where it matters most. I'm going to show you how you adapt so that your practice doesn't just kind of get along or get passed up. We're going to take you through a series of things, and this segues into our next presenter, and that's a person who, for me, he's a friend of mine. He's a person that's been there with me. I've told a number of you this, but I used to go to his seminars. I used to be in the audience and watch him on stage and go, oh my gosh, this guy. Well, he started survey.com. Many of you know that. I mean, just owning that domain alone makes you probably independently wealthy. He started that company, and he's been at the forefront of marketing, survey research, understanding markets. He's dealt with some of the largest companies, big names that are everyday household names you'll be familiar with. And he came to me, he said, hey, Dan, I'm kind of like winding down, but I got to stay busy. He's a musician, concert musician, recording musician, has been on stage as the bassist for Tina Turner. Today is, doing gigs with his guitar, singing and such. He says, but Dan, I got to keep busy. What you got? What are you doing? And I told him what we're doing. And he checked me out and checked all our competition out and said, yeah, I see you guys are the real deal. Yeah, I'd love to come on and just kind of keep busy. And I love talking to people. I love helping people out. This individual has been working with Blumberg Digital for months. And as probably about 6-7 months, something like that, he's become an absolute valuable individual. You guys keep him busy in somewhere between 7 and 10 appointments a day, looking at your website, your SEO, your strategy, and giving you advice and direction. So with that said, I'd like to introduce Mr. Michael Bach.
Dan, thank you so much for that intro. Appreciate it. How's everyone doing today? Everyone's doing good? All right. So Dan said, I've been involved in marketing for decades. I'm a big believer in looking at the past to figure out the future. Dan said I was there at the beginning of the dot-com revolution. I saw that. But as some of you will know, I am a certain vintage, which means I am a child of the 60s. So I always think there are lessons to be learned by going back, because sitting with dentists all day, every day, the number one question I get asked is the following: what should I do? Right? People come up to me and go, Michael, my stats are down. I'm not getting the patients. Do I need a new website? Do I need a this? Should I do Instagram? Should I do that? What's SEO, etc.? And I will tell you my answer is always the same. And here it is. Do everything all the time starting today and get better and better at it. Now, who does that apply to? It applies to everyone. It applies to the doctor who's opening their first practice. It applies to the doctor who's had a practice for a year but has no patients. It applies to the doctor who's had the same practice for 30 years and the stats keep going down. It applies to the guy who has 5 practices and is opening up 6, 7, and 8. It is do everything all the time starting today. So with that, let's go back into antiquity. And I'm going to do something I've never done on one of these before. I'm going to show you state-of-the-art dental marketing circa 1963, okay? And I'm going to show you a young dentist named Dr. Aronson, who was my family dentist, and what he did circa 1963. And I have visuals, and I'm not kidding people. I've never shown this to anyone before, but I'm going to show it to you guys, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm showing you now the family home of Michael Bach. Can everyone see that? You see that little house there, the little red one? Who sees that house? You guys all see that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That is my home at 455 Argyle Road. It's where myself and my family lived. I'm the youngest of 3. My parents moved there in about 1959 or 1960. I was just a baby. On the right, you guys see that map? That pin is my house, okay? This building here, see that building? You guys all see it?
Yep.
Okay, this is my elementary school. It was built in 1925. It's the oldest school in that town, right? So remember, here's me. Here's where I'm growing up. So let's just do a little walk to there from 455 Argyle Road to there. You see that?
Yep.
You see that walk? That's little Michael walking to school every day. Now, my mother, like most mothers of that time, did not drive. There was a dentist. You see this dentist here? I don't know who that is. Must be a new dentist. Dr. Aronson had a strategy, which was to buy a house 2 doors down from the local elementary school. What a strategic thinker this guy was. None of the moms drove. And there I am in school, and my mom would walk me to school, and just like modern SEO, she would see the dentist every day. This was an incredibly forward-looking individual. This strategic decision by Dr. ended up with my family I was with him from probably 4 years old to the time I left, as were my brother and sister. My parents were with him for over 40 years. This resulted in 80 years of dentistry. Can you imagine? That is a tremendous accomplishment. Now, what did Dr. Aronson do that was so incredible? Well, Dr. Aronson may have seen my definition of dental marketing, which is pretty simple. Dental marketing is the strategic process of attracting new patients from your local community while strengthening relationships with existing ones, ensuring steady growth for your process. Who here thinks that Dr. Aronson did a pretty good job of applying that?
Yeah, he did a great job.
Right? Right, Dan?
Yeah,
Circa
great job.
1960, state of the art. It's so state of the art, Dan, that there's still a dental practice in that house. It's still there. I believe Dr. Aronson is long gone, but that's what it is. So how do we do that today? How do we apply that same forward thinking? There are 3 pillars of media in dental marketing. Media just means communication. That's all. It's just communication. How you communicate with people. Dr. Aronson communicated by putting his house and making a statement. There was probably a sign, although I didn't read for the first few years. I'm sure there was a sign. But the basics of this have stayed the same. And those are as follows. The 3 channels you need to get on are what we call owned media. By this, I mean, what is it you say about yourself? I'm going to dig into these a little deeper, but I just want to go through the three categories. First, owned media. Second, earned media. Earned, what others say about you. And the third is paid media, what you pay to have said to other people. Owned, earned, and paid. Makes sense, right?
Yep.
Now, Dan was talking about the future, where we're going. Aaron's going to talk about the future, where we're going. It all fits into one of those categories. Always. It always has. It always will. There's what you say about yourself. There's what others say about you. And there's what you pay to say. That's it. Ideally, there's a concept that I want to go over with you guys. It's a very, very, very basic concept. It's the concept of a dovetail, okay? And for those who are not involved in woodworking, I'm going to show you what a dovetail is. Everyone see that?
Yep.
That's a dovetail. What do you see in this dovetail? By the way, this is a dovetail from a mid-century piece of furniture. This piece of furniture is probably worth about $50,000, right? Because the workmanship is so incredible. You see how the two pieces of wood fit together in perfect harmony. So perfect that it has lasted probably close to 100 years. And a dovetail joint done correctly will basically never go away unless you put that piece of furniture in my former hometown of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the wood dries up. But that is a dovetail joint, which is the joining of two pieces of wood to create something stronger than either piece. Let's go through this concept in marketing. So what does dovetailing mean in marketing? What is he talking about? Is everyone going, Dan, are you following me, Dan?
Totally tracking. Yeah, but I'm interested to see where this is going. Like what is going to, like, what piece is fitting into what other piece?
That's right. So there's a piece fitting into a piece. So dovetailing in marketing is how different pieces of the three that I mentioned earlier fit together. How does owned media fit with earned media, fit with paid media? And one of the biggest problems that I see in speaking to dentists over and over again is they don't fit together. They do not fit together. They are not complementary. They, and sometimes, are in conflict with each other. And this is the worst possible thing. A dentist asked me the other day, I've got one guy doing Facebook ads for me. I've got another guy doing Facebook ads for me. What do you think? I said, doctor, you are bidding against yourself.
We see it all, don't we? Don't we see it all, Michael? We see it all. We see it all.
Yeah, we see it all. So basically, he's got a gladiator competition going on between his two sons. There's no win, right? If you want your two sons to wrestle, that's okay. They should not have knives and arrows and implements of destruction. So let's understand a well-optimized, so this is how it all fits together. A well-optimized website, which is owned media, ranks high in Google. Earned media, further boosted by targeted Google ads, paid media, resulting in a continuous flow of new patients. And I will guarantee that every person, Dan, and every client he mentioned earlier is doing some version of this. Now, is it fitting together as well as the dovetail joint I just showed you? I would say not. Because wood is a hard surface. It pretty much stays the same unless it's too much water or not enough water. But marketing is a field of inexactitude, right? There is always things that could be improved and always edges that you cannot predict. What are some of the edges that exist? Google itself changing unilaterally how things are ranked. How bad can this be? A few weeks ago, Dan addressed this. Google changed one of their algorithms, simply a formula about how Google reviews would be accepted or not, resulting in tens of thousands of Google reviews taken off. We cannot control that. We can just tell you what happened. How do you overcome that? More Google reviews. That's it. More. Ads are not clicked on as much as they used to be. Does that mean they don't work? Of course not. It just means you got to be better at it than your competition, right? So is everyone tracking so far? Dan, you with me?
Good stuff. Good stuff. And just as a quick point for everybody, that Google mistake, it was their mistake. It should be reversed. We gave you the exact video on how to do that. If that isn't sorted out, reach out to your account manager. We'll make sure that it is. But yeah, exactly as Michael just said, there are things that you can control and things that you can't. And the field of marketing is mercurial. It's like mercury. It's not like that wood he was talking about. So you've got to move with it or you get left behind sometimes. So yeah, straight A's. Straight A's.
So this is where we at. We need owned, earned, and paid. So what's owned? What is owned media in digital marketing? SEO optimized website. You guys got to have a great website, fantastic website. You got to have it. You got to have blog posts. You got to have Instagram. You got to have Facebook. You got to have social media. You got to have it all, right? You got to write blogs. You got to create documents. There is no end to what this is. The best part about this is self-created. There's no limit. No one's stopping you. No one's controlling you. One of our dentists, over the weekend, I was meeting with them. She has put in a studio in her basement to make better videos. Fantastic. Great idea. She wants her videos to look better than everyone else's. It's part of her brand. I was like, fantastic. We're still helping her through the Gold platform and telling her the questions to respond to on the explainer videos that we've covered in great detail. But she decided on her own to up her game, right? You can see Dan sitting there at Studio A, as we call it at Blumberg Digital. Dan's in Studio A. I'm at Studio B, right? We both like to look good and present well on video because we do it all day. That's what we do. That's up to us. We're creating content with this webinar. We're applying what we preach to ourselves. Okay, good. The offering we have for that, everyone should be aware, is the Gold Marketing Platform. It is, without question, the state-of-the-art way to create content. Now, we don't do it all for you. We do about 80%. You can't just set it and forget it. We need your involvement. And for those of you who are on the Gold platform with us, if you find me anywhere, the number one thing I'm going to tell you is more involvement, more content. That's it. You got to create content. So that's our solution to that. Earned media. What is earned in dentistry? The number one thing, Google reviews. You earn it. You can't pay for it. Can't pay for it. If you pay for it, you have violated the terms and conditions of Google. If they find out about it, they will sandbox you, meaning they will take down your Google business profile and put it in a sandbox and it's gone. We don't want that to happen. You earn it with fantastic dentistry, incredible front office staff, incredible treatment coordinators, incredible clinical success. Now, you earn it, you have to ask for it. No one will give you a review unless you ask. Well, that's not true. Certain people will, but if you let them know how important it is to you, and certainly we have many, many programs, Dan covers this over and over again. You must bake this into your DNA of your practice, right? You should be gone over minimum one time a week in the morning huddle. Do it. Keep it going. Okay. Social media shares and recommendations. How do you get those? By creating the content for people to share. You see that? If you don't create the content, no one can share it. So there's an earned part of media that is basically dead on arrival if there's nothing created. Make sense? Got to create it.
I think on that point, it's funny, Michael, because, JD Nelson said at the beginning of this, how to take social media traction into new patients. And then Melissa said, hey, learn more on marketing and increase our new patients and promo ideas and such. So I think this might be a good subject of how to actually get some of that content creation, what we can do on social media that gets us traction and such. So if you are interested in that, maybe being part of the next webinar, can you say me on the chat, please? If you would like us to cover that content and how to create that content like some of our top clients do, I would love to know in the chat if that's you. Good, thank you. But yeah, all great stuff so far. And yeah, the chat just lit on fire.
Right, and I will tell you that if you're not personally, now listen, I'm going to be upfront. I'm a child of the 60s. I'm 66 years old, okay? Now, why am I still working? Because I don't enjoy recreating that much, right? I will tell you right now, the weekend is far less exciting when there's no work week, right? I love to work, but if you're not on social media yourself, you will never get it. I'm telling you. Now, you don't have to get yourself a personal Facebook page, get yourself a personal Instagram. This can be completely hidden from your office stuff. I get it. Some of you don't want it, but you cannot understand it unless you see what all the fuss is about. Because as Dan said, there's a lot of fuss about this, right? I mean, people are like, I sell everything on Facebook Marketplace. If you don't know what that is, you're out of touch. If you don't know what an Instagram Reel is, you're out of touch. If you don't know what a TikTok is, you're out of touch. Now, do I personally love these platforms? No. But I use them, I'm on them, I share on them, I post on them. Because you got to stay up on this stuff. Okay, now, other stuff you can do for earned media, press releases, press coverage. How do you get that? You do PR, right? If you don't know what PR is, figure it out. You got to get out there. Some of you guys have marketing and PR managers, right? You got to get out there. You got to offer yourself up. This is all earned media. You must get earned media. It's got to dovetail with your owned media. And then the third example, paid media. Oh, by the way, before I move on, if you need more help on how to, if you're not getting reviews every day and answering them every day, you must download our guide to getting tons of Google reviews, right? If you don't have a QR code, you must have a QR code. I'm going to have the team put in the chat the link to getting our guide to getting tons of Google reviews. And if you need help getting a QR code for your practice so it's easy, put that in the chat. Someone will get with you.
So just to recap, so if I get this right, so what you're saying, Michael, is we got to get them, current. We got to make sure their website's golden, make certain that they're exploring all the channels, including social media channels.
That's right.
And social media is important, even if you don't necessarily personally agree with it. Get your team active on it. And we'll see changes. You'll see things might change with your viewpoint about social media when you get a 58-year-old patient walking in who said, I just saw your TikTok, and you might just start to change your own mind. And on that point, folks, I think we should all, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. But, Michael said he's not big on social media himself personally, but how many of you want to see Michael perform some music, and we'll do a TikTok of Michael Bach. If you want Michael on, a little, let's break him out of his shell. Type it in the chat. I want Michael on music. Put something in there. We'll take your vote, and we'll let you be the judge of that one.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, Dan, because as you may or may not know, Dan Brown is also a musician. So
I see what you did there. We're
good. Yeah, I saw you. You think I'm afraid? See, that's the problem.
Anyways, moving along. What's your next?
All right, good. I'm gonna go because we got to get to Aaron. Aaron's having a good time, but we're gonna get to Aaron in a second. Okay, yeah, there's one more thing, which is paid media. Okay, guys, it works, right? We have a number of, let's just call them behemoths or gargantuan clients. They're in that rarefied territory of hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in collections, right? Every single one of them is doing all three of these all the time. They are spending to make money, right? You must get new patients. One of the very effective ways to do that is Google advertising, pay-per-click, meta ads, funnels, listen, and other things. Like Dan said, if cards are working for you, great. If you want a billboard, you got a great opportunity to get a billboard, great. We do not care. Now, we have offerings for Google Ads. We're very, very good at it. Our PPC team is world-class. But if you want to talk about any of this stuff with me, this is what I do all day long. Dan does the talking now. I don't leave the house much, as Dan will tell you. One of my concerns us. I don't want to travel. I got grandchildren in the area. I like to stay home. You will find me at MGE a few days a week, but I'd love to talk to anyone here about where you're at, because I got to get to Aaron really soon because we're going to miss him. So here's some actionable stuff. I am happy to do an audit with you of all three of these. I'm happy. Let's go through your own content. Let's go through your Google reviews. Let's go through your paid ads. Let's figure it out together. I don't care where you are. You could be an associate thinking about opening your own practice. I'm happy to talk to you, right? You could be a marketing manager with some questions. I'm not sure what my next move is. I would rather you call me before you say, and this happens, one of the most other common things is, our new patients are crashed. What can you do? The first thing I'm going to tell you is, I'm going to go back 6 months and tell you to talk to me then, right? Now, we can help you, but the faster you get on this, marketing is not an option. That's what it is. Aaron and I and Dan have both worked with large organizations. Do you know the C-level of these companies? CEO, there's a chief marketing officer. These guys, every major company in the world has recognized that despite being the #1 brand of soft drink, alcoholic beverage, car, you name the solution, they cannot back off. Now, when you start looking a little bit at these large organizations, you will see them doing own content, earned content, and paid marketing. They're doing it. You got to do it. I think we have some sort of way for people to get a hold of me. Just write in the chat, like to talk to Michael. Someone here will grab your email and get you an appointment. We might have some links we can put in as well. But that's Dan. You still there, Dan?
I think it's great. I think what do y'all think? Let's give Michael a hand. I appreciate a little wisdom there, some help, great stable data. Well done, my friend. And we're going to, listen, certainly reach out. This is where we do a full review. And Michael does about, 40 of these a week. He's seen probably more websites and global views of dental practices than really anybody else, certainly currently. And I'll tell you, he's got the background to back it up, and he's got the vision of all of our providers, works very, very tightly with all of our partners. Great stuff. Good. So now we're going to go on to our next guest, what I think we've all been waiting for. Michael, would you like to introduce our next guest?
Yeah, I'm so happy. Hey, and folks, please, just if you got any questions, please let me know. All right, so this I'm so excited to introduce our next guest. Aaron Agius is probably the preeminent SEO guru that I've ever met, for sure. Aaron's company, which is called Louder, they're a trusted provider. I'm gonna lay some names because I love the names, Dan. You always give me that, but I love the names of the people he's worked with: Amazon, IBM, eBay, Coca-Cola, Kellogg's, Ben & Jerry's, Facebook, Volkswagen. Oh my God, it goes on and on. I mean, I'm just going to stop with Kia and LG. And with that, I would like to bring up Aaron. Come on, say hello to everyone. And you and I are going to talk about a bunch of stuff.
Thank you for the intro. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
Aaron, it is so good to see you. Just so you know, guys, Dan has given me a unique opportunity, to work with himself and the great team, but also to meet some incredible experts. And Aaron has been a tremendous help to me personally on bringing me up to speed on SEO. We've done a number of things together, and I'm always just amazed, Aaron, by your willingness to share. So
thank you.
If we could start, Aaron, give me just a little bit of an overview of what your company does and how it works with your clients.
Yeah. So, the core of what we do and have done from day one is SEO. And it is purely about making sure that you're coming up on the front page of Google for your target keywords, the kind of keywords that drive growth to a business. Importantly, not just the vanity metrics, the vanity keywords that people think that they want to be found for, and often that's an education process with the businesses. But we need to drive an ROI for the business, and so that comes down to knowing which keywords which pages are going to drive an ROI and actually grow that business. And that's where we focus. We do it in any industry. We've done a lot in automotive, education, SaaS, you name it, we've been across the board. Process of doing SEO has evolved, just like what was said before. The algorithms change constantly. Google decides, Bing decides what they're going to change when.
That's great. So a couple of things. Can you just give me a very simple, you use the term keywords, right? What is a keyword for people who may not be as familiar with the vocabulary? What is a keyword?
So you need an emergency dentist. You're in Chicago. You're searching for emergency dentist Chicago.
Right. So the keyword is the actual search term that they used.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So one thing that clients tell me a lot is, my competition, when I type in dentist near me, I'm not on the first page, right? And one thing that you have taught me is that the person at the top, is there any luck in, are they paying, is that hard work? Is that like luck? How do you get to be at the top? Is that just magical or what happens?
So there's multiple answers to that, multiple parts. So you specifically use the keyword and the search term dentist near me, right? You didn't use a location. So assuming you meant that specific keyword, there's a few things to take into account. If they are coming up and they come up in the ads section, sure, they've paid for that spot, right? That's simple.
So that's the top of the page. That's sponsored. That's what I was talking. That's paid advertising, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's the top.
Yeah, and then if you're coming up for dentist near me in the organic rankings, and you're somewhere near the top on that front page, that's typically earned. That SEO is earned. It's competitive. You have to outdo the competition. Specifically, I wanted to raise a point which is good to be. It's relevant to your question about keywords before. If you're trying to rank for dentist near me, then you're not necessarily going to bring in traffic and patients for your practice in your location, because dentist near me is a nationwide term, and you could be getting traffic from anywhere in the country. So, selection of keywords is really key and really critical when undergoing this whole process.
Okay, good. So when you and I have done projects together, so you mentioned organic results. So organic results, if I'm hearing you correctly, is Google deciding which people to put at the top, middle, bottom, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
Now there also is what you have referred to as the local pack. Can you let us know the difference between those, and is the technique to get high on one different or the same as the organic search?
Sure. So the local listings, there's many names for this. There's the map pack, local listings, Google business listings. They used to be called Google Places. That is the businesses that come up just below the ads and above the organic results. That is usually name of the company, the address, the phone number of reviews. And there's usually about 3 of them, and a map to the right-hand side showing where those businesses are located. Now, depending on the type of business, those attract more traffic and more click-throughs than the organic results or the ads. Depending, again, if it's a different type of business, more go to the ads and more go to the organic results. So it depends on the type of business. We're talking specifically about dentists here. There is a decent percentage that clicks through to those map packs and those local listings. As you would imagine, people are looking for a service right then and there. There's a phone number. It's right there. They can see where the address is. So it's quite impactful. To answer your question as to how to be ranking in that maps pack, so it used to, as we keep saying, algorithms change all the time. Originally, it was a completely separate algorithm that operated in that area. And it didn't matter if you had a website or a good website or a highly authoritative website or any of that. Good content, none of that mattered. Nowadays, it's quite intertwined with the normal organic listings below and that algorithm. So there is a big impact in terms of your site needs to be technically sound. It needs to have good content, and it needs to have links and authority. And I'm sure we're going to delve deeper into that in a moment.
We're definitely going to get. And so you heard earlier Dan describing some of our clients getting hundreds of calls off their websites. I mean, that's an incredible number, right? Hundreds. One of them he said was over 500 calls, right? So let's just say I'm in the audience right now and I'm getting almost no calls off my website that I can ascertain. We know you do what we call premium SEO, right? That's the service that our company and your company provide together. Can you just give me a little bit of an understanding of what that service involves? Let's say I've got a nice website. How do we get from 20 calls to 500? Like, there's some magic in there that I'm trying to understand. And if you could just talk about
Sure.
that would be great.
Yeah, so the only way to explain what is provided is to explain the three core pillars of SEO and how to get things moving and what needs to be focused on,
Okay.
and those are
Three
the
core
things that are,
pillars. So we're going to have another trio of things. Okay, good.
yes, absolutely. So to touch on those three key pillars, we're looking at technical. So is your website technically sound? Is it crawlable, indexable? Is it loading fast? Is it for some reason blocking search engine crawlers? Is it a nice, healthy site on a good content management system that Google is going to like and be happy to show?
Just so I understand. So this is kind of like a SEO tune-up kind of thing, right? We're going to take, assuming the website is basically got some content on it, right? Functions, you're going to go through and do a complete evaluation of all these technical points. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
And
good.
making sure that we're ticking the boxes so that Google is going to like and want to rank that site from a technical perspective.
Okay, so is that an ongoing process or is that?
In terms of the dental sites, it's more of a hygiene factor. Most of it's done up front, but we need to be we're constantly aware of web development companies that make changes to the site without announcing it, without communicating it, rolling back changes. There's a lot of technical stuff we have to stay on top of through no fault of anyone else's. It should be a hygiene factor if it wasn't being fiddled with by anyone else. Yes.
Right. And I'm supposing this is a very specialized method you guys have of doing this, that the average website company, as a good a job as they're trying to do, they're just not at the level of someone who's worked with Pepsi and Facebook and all these big companies, correct?
Yeah, well, as Dan mentioned, there's often the most common thing we see is a company says we can build your website for you, and oh yeah, we'll do some SEO for you, a couple of $100, and
Right.
they're claiming that they're doing SEO. Now, what ends up happening is that those web development companies end up being the biggest cause of technical problems for the site. They care that they look pretty and that they function, not so much that Google cares about them and is going to rank them.
Okay, good. I'm going to get into that looks good in a second because that's I want to get into. Okay, that's step number one. A technical upgrade, as you say, hygiene. Now the site's working great. What's step number two?
Step two is content. So if you want to be found for something, if you have a service, you have an offering, you need content for it. It's as simple as that. Now, that's not 3 sentences on a page about cosmetic dentistry. That is hitting the normal averages. So at the moment, the front page of Google typically has between 1,500 to 2,000 words per result on that front page, right? So it's us looking at the content you have, making sure you have the right content and filling any gaps, and then improving on whatever is there, so that we're making sure that you can be found and you have valuable content that people are going to care about.
Okay, great. And then what is the last phase?
The last pillar is links, which is effectively authority. So links are considered votes in the eyes of the search engines. So the more links from other websites back to the correct places on your website, the greater the authority that is passed through to your website.
Okay, great. So this is fantastic. Now, I think what everyone's waiting for is for you, Aaron, the expert, to take a look at some websites. So the team has put together a couple for you. I'm going to let you share the stage. I'm going to let you share your screen and go through this. And I'm going to be the color commentator while you do this because I've seen you do it and I love it every time.
Sure.
So Ladies and gentlemen, Britt, do we have a website that Aaron can take a look at? I think she might be sending it to you.
Yeah, we do. He should have the list of them. First up, someone who volunteered their website
Who is that?
It is Dr. Padma, Lake Castle Dentistry.
And Dr. Padma is here.
Dr. Padma, are you here with us? Maybe we should have someone who's present. I know that someone from Dr. Victor's office, the DC dentist, is here. So let's get into the DC dentist. Oh, no, Dr.
Here.
Padma's here. Good. All right.
Okay, doctor, I appreciate this. Just so you know, people, this is a relatively painless procedure and endlessly fascinating. So with that, I'm going to let Aaron do his magic.
So what is key here is I've got to make sure that everyone doesn't get too concerned about all the technical side of things that are going on here. I'll try and explain it very simply and use some of the more simple metrics. Okay, so this is the Lake Castle Dentistry website. So I'm going to just do a quick review of it, looking from the perspective of how does the content look, how does the page load, what kind of service pages I can see. So it's the first place I start.
Okay.
So having a look through here, I'm just going to go straight to the services here, and I can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 services. Oh, good, and they pop out. Okay, so there's a few things that I'm noticing straight away. One of them being that, oh yeah, this is interesting. So can you see the bottom left-hand side of my website where as I mouse over teeth whitening, you can see a URL popped up down the bottom left. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. So interestingly here, the teeth whitening page, which should be a service page, the URL here is coming up as an article page. So it's /articles /premium education, bunch of code, then teeth whitening. So what's happening is the URL itself is not optimized for that particular service page. And I'll click through here and we can see here, it's all up in that top URL. Ideally, what we'd want to see here is Lake Castle Dentistry /dental services /teeth whitening, for example, or teeth whitening is Lake Castle the location? Is that the suburb, the city, the town?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let's have a look here. I'll look at the title tag. Arlington is actually the location. So what we'd want to be able to see is lakecastledentistry.com /dental services /teeth whitening Arlington in the URL.
I see.
I'd also like to see it here.
This would be one of these technical points that you're talking about.
Yeah, and content optimization. This here is known as the H1, the header 1 tag. I'd also want to see Arlington added into that so that we knew we were optimizing for a specific location.
Okay.
I'm just going to have a look through some of the actual content. While I'm not reading it, I'm skimming it to sort of check content length, which I don't think it's terrible. Other than this, though, this stock photo, it seems there's absolutely no images here. Love to get some images in here. And the other thing that it's completely missing is any internal linking from this page to any other page on the site. And if this is completely missing any internal linking, I would imagine that would be the same for every other page, every other.
Just explain to everyone, internal linking are links that go from the website to another page on the website, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So the idea there being that you are being able to direct both users and search engine crawlers to additional pages on your site, helps with indexing and crawling, helps with time on site, showing that you do more services to the users, patients, users. So having a look here, the general dentistry, now I can see you've thrown in the location. This is the H2 tag though, so not as powerful as this H1 up the top. So that's kind of in the wrong place. And then again, I'm not seeing any internal linking throughout this content. And this particular page is very thin on content from my perspective.
Right, because you were just saying 1,500 to 2,000 words. Is that kind of?
Looks a lot bigger than that.
Right.
Now, I can see some of the title tag. So the title tag is up here right at the top of the browser. And you can see it's popped out saying General Dentist Arlington. So that is optimized there. Could be a little bit better in my opinion. Most people most of the pages I like to check are the cosmetic dentistry pages. Key to understand here is that people don't search for cosmetic dentistry. They'd be searching for cosmetic dentist Arlington. Right. And I'm not just assuming here that the keyword research that we do shows the volumes behind the search terms. So we're well aware of how many people search for one thing over another.
So you're looking at the search versus the results. You're actually digging into what people are searching for when you do this optimization.
Yes,
So it's
absolutely.
not your opinion. It's based on tools you
Data.
have to figure it out.
Yep,
Fantastic.
correct.
Okay.
Correct. And yeah, so again, I'm seeing the same thing. I am seeing here that you are linking internally to another page, which is good. That is an internal link there. And then some white spot removal is another internal link, teeth whitening over here. So that's good. But again, that teeth whitening page is an unoptimized URL that's an article instead of a page. So a couple of technical issues there that I'm seeing that could be resolved. What I don't want to do, I could continue here, but what I want to do is show you some of the analytics that I can see from the back end using one of our tools.
I'd like to do two of these if we have time. I'd like to get one more in.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
so
we've got about 13 minutes, so I don't want to rush you, but
that's fine. So this particular tab here, this is one of the tools that we use to analyze a site in the back end, to analyze the link profiles, see which sites and how many sites are linking to it, and what kind of links they are, and all sorts of technical stuff, as well as to see how well they're ranking. So if I just have a quick overview here, I can see an estimate of organic traffic has pretty much been 0, so 3 or 8 visits a month. There was a spike to 44 here in November, and then it's dropped down to nothing really going on. Now, what I want to check here is why. If you are ranking for any keywords, I'm guessing they're not on the front page because you'd be getting traffic from them. So I'm just going to have a look at what kind of keywords you are ranking for. And it's showing here that you're ranking for 81 keywords. Now, that's 81 keywords across all of the pages of Google, so not just the front page. Now, what I like to do here is scroll down and have a look at the positions, and I'm just going to sort by position. Now, the reason I'm going to do this is they say in SEO that the perfect place to hide a dead body is the second page of Google, right? Because just no one goes. All of the clicks to a search result page happen on that front page. Right. And what you can see here is showing exactly why there's no traffic. You have one keyword ranking on the front page, and that's cosmetic dentist in Arlington. There's less than 10 people searching for that per month, and you're in position 9. So there's no traffic clicking through for that. Everything else is sitting off the front page. Now, here, for a lot of these cosmetic dentist keywords, there's good opportunity. It's sitting just off the front page. So that could, with a few of the things that I'm saying, some content improvements, some linking, and that kind of thing, there's a good push, a good opportunity to push that to the front page and actually get some traffic and patients.
So they're sitting right below where they want to be. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Doctor, I'm totally willing to talk to you more about this. I'd like to see Aaron get another one in, but please reach out, because Aaron's taught me we can even do more analysis. I'm not trying to cut it short, but I wanted to give Aaron one more shot.
I'll just say there's one last part, and this is that I'm looking now at all of the links that are going to this website, and there's 3 of them, and they're all just directories, which means anyone can get the same link without too much effort. So there is definitely
a link. Is generating basically almost no earned media, as I said earlier, right?
No authority being passed through, So and yeah, exactly. So what needs to be done here is an ongoing link acquisition campaign direct to the pages you actually want to rank in Google, not just the homepage itself.
Abby, I saw you say, what is KD? While we get Aaron another one, let me explain that. Britt, do you have a second one for Doctor to do? I'm sorry, for Aaron to do?
Yes, it is dcdentist.com, thedcdentist.com.
Okay, while Aaron takes a look at that, Abby, KD is keyword difficulty. This is how hard is it to rank for that keyword? So basically, what's the difficulty of getting a high ranking?
So just having a look, I'll follow the same sort of process here. I'm looking straight at the website itself directly. What I noticed is there's a pop-up that came up straight away when this page loaded. Now, a concern for me would be I'd like to see what this looks like on a mobile site. And if you can if it's optimized for mobile, and you can get rid of that pop-up and scroll the rest of the website. Otherwise, there are some Google penalties that exist because of instant pop-ups and pop-ups that you can't get rid of and that kind of thing.
Wow. Okay.
So what I'd be looking at here is straight away, I can see in the title tag up the top, it says holistic dentist in Washington, DC. Now, I don't know that anyone's going to be searching for holistic. I'm not sure. I'd need to do the keywords research behind that. But quite frankly, I think that title tag would be better used to try and rank for some of the core location keywords, such as just dentist in Washington, DC. I often see a lot of wasted space in that title tag with unnecessary keywords. Now, one of the core things that I saw here was, and I would, I'm just going to flick back here. I would put money on it that someone here has been on ChatGPT and used it to try and populate some of the content on this site. And one of the absolute dead giveaways is because of this word elevate, which ChatGPT just throws into so many different content output if it's not done the right way. And so there is that. And I would have a guess that there's some ChatGPT content here. What I can tell as well is that the H1s, the header one tag that I said before, is obviously not optimized. And we're talking, I imagine that's probably the H1 if I looked at the code, and that's not the kind of thing you want to be
And by
ranking.
H1, Aaron, you just mean the header at the top of the page, right? Like,
Yeah,
Google knows that. So obviously that's a very important part of being optimized for SEO, right?
Yeah, it's like the contents of a book, right? You're
Right.
indicating what that next chapter is about or what the following piece of content is about. And Google understands it that way as well. And in this instance, it's not very clear. So again, I'm seeing no internal linking from any of that content to anywhere else. Though I can see some linking here on these tabs, which is good. I'll be interested to just scroll down a little bit. I'd say, there's a decent amount of content on this particular page, but I wonder if that's going to exist on these internal pages as well, these service pages. So I'll just load that up. It is loading a little bit slow for my liking. Clear aligners. Okay, the H1 tag is good. Not a lot of internal linking, unfortunately. Some down here. Look, I'm more interested here in checking out some of this back-end data, because I want to make sure that we've only got a couple of minutes and I want to show some of that. So here in particular, we're seeing 157 referring domains. That is the number of links to that site. So that's good. It's a decent improvement compared to the last site we were looking at. The traffic, however, has been declining from March 2024 from 170 visitors down to 98. And there's going to be reasons for that. What we can see here is the number of organic pages has also been dropping. There's a lot of signals that are dropping here. Your branded searches have dropped. I could definitely investigate and figure out what that is, but I'm running short on time. And so I'm trying to rush through and make sure that I'm getting to some important parts here. I'm looking at the actual types of links that you've got. I'm seeing a lot of directories. So for me, some kind of company, some web development company that says they do SEO, or a small SEO agency or something, has done a little bit of SEO work on this site. I could see based on the title tags and some of the content, I can see by the fact that you're in loads of different directories. So someone has actively done that, and it's usually a small SEO company.
Okay, Aaron, thank you. I think I'm gonna have to sort of start winding us down here, but you got one more thing to say?
Just this one last thing here that I
great.
noticed is that there is a technical problem going on with this website. And that technical problem is there is a bunch of pages that have got links to it that are all 404ing, which means the value of those links has disappeared. It's non-existent. So there's some technical issues that need to be looked at here. I also noticed incorrect redirect being used. So there's a load of problems going on here, and something that could definitely use a bit of help.
Right. And then all of these result in basically less traffic, less referrals, less authority, less of everything.
All of it. Yep, exactly.
Okay, great. Well, listen, Aaron, I want to thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. And I know I put you on the spot. That, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that was done in real time. We didn't tell him what the websites were. We didn't give him any indication of what it would be. That was literally in real time. Aaron, let's give Aaron a big hand and some thumbs up for basically taking time out of his day. Aaron lives in Europe, so he's getting ready to go have dinner pretty soon. Aaron, thank you so much for coming on with us. Hopefully we can get you back at some other time. And as always, my friend, thank you for all your advice and your education. You're welcome. Really fantastic.
Anytime. Thank you.
So with that, folks, I like to keep, we said this was going to end at 1, and we're, if there's anything about us, we're precise. And before we go, we have a very exciting announcement, which is we are announcing next month's webinar, right, Britt? We know the date. We normally don't know the date, but we have nailed one down. Britt is going to put an invitation to that next webinar. We do not know what the subject will be. That's not the way we work. But it's going to be exciting. It always is. I would bet it includes Dan Brown and probably myself as well. We invite you all to come to that. Now, in the chat as well, you'll see some other links. If you would like me to do an SEO analysis of your site just for you and using the skills that Mr. Agius has taught me over the months I've been here, I will do it. You can ask all the questions you want. I explain everything the way I go. And it is a relatively painless experience. Britt, I think we've reached the end of the webinar. So we would like to thank everyone for coming, and we hope you'll join us again. And any staff who are here, we want to thank you for coming, because without you guys, we wouldn't have done it. And very exciting to have you all here. Got to take the dog for a walk.
For attending. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, guys.